been raining in North Texas like ridiculous. I mean, it is craziness. It rains more days than not. And I live in North Texas. It doesn't, we do drought, we do hot. No, we have been doing the freaking arc. It has rained all dang day, and I'm so tired of rain. You cannot get a rain tan, is what I'm saying. So we're gonna do this first. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Okay, so that's all. That's all. I'm not gonna do 9 verses. Just gonna try a little music to change the mood. I know that looks awkward because I'm putting down my ukulele. Hey y'all, my name is Jennifer Huddleston Kelly. I am the creative genius behind Elephant Sandwich Social Media Management. I help businesses level up through the effective use of social media. And if you own a business and are interested in social media, I hope you are tuning in and letting other people know about the videos that I make almost daily. Last week, I kind of fell apart a little bit. I got really busy with a whole lot of different things. And I just kept procrastinating about making my videos because funny story. I was supposed to go out of town. I thought I was supposed to go out of town this weekend. And so I was planning on going out of town this weekend. And I kept mentioning to a friend of mine, I think I'm going, we're going to this gathering of friends. And she'd say, when is it? And I would say, well, it's like the 11th or whatever. I can't figure out the dates yet. Whatever. I was telling her it was the second. I would tell her it was the second weekend in June. And she would say, that's so weird. I thought it was the first weekend in June. And I very arrogantly would say, oh, no. It's the second weekend in June, which is where I had written it on my calendar, by the way. And so, on Wednesday or Thursday, I get a text message from the person who asked me to be at this gathering of friends. And he sends me a picture of the room all set up. And I think, wow, they're setting this thing up really early. He showed up awfully early for something that's next weekend. And then I sat here and that thought kept coming back, like, why would they set up the room that early for a gathering that is next weekend? And so I looked back through my text messages and discovered that the plane ticket was booked for, Friday. And I am in no way, shape, or form prepared to go out of town. So I am in a mad scramble, realizing, and I bet you 6 different times my friend kept saying, I could have sworn that was the first weekend in June. And I was so sure I was right because, I wrote it down on the wrong weekend. So anyway, so I went and I got to hang out with 400 of my favorite people. I actually got to hug some necks and see some people in person. And I was actually at the gathering I was at in 2018 when the idea for Elephant Sandwich was born. And so it was pretty cool to be back in that spot and to think about kind of where I was then and where I am now. And I am so much further along than I was then. I am not where I had hoped I would be, but you get a little pandemic going, and there have been some things are exponentially better than I ever expected, and some things I didn't quite grow as quickly as I had hoped, but I'm on the right path. Let's just start with, I'm on a path, and I'm doing something that I love. And so there is no doubt in my mind that the growth is coming and that, you know, I, I'm doing well. It's funny. While I was gone, my husband did our taxes. And when he told me how much the taxes we owed were, I was like, well, how much were they last year? And they were much lower. And, and I said, well, why are they so much? And he said, well, your income tripled. Oops. That didn't register with me. So, things are getting better. Things are looking up. I'm excited about what's coming. So, today I want to tell you a little bit about kind of what happened that, over the weekend. It was so good to get to see people. Why did I just hit that? Okay. It was so good to get to see people and to hug necks and all that kind of stuff. Travel is still a little tricky. The airlines were kind of interesting. The flight was postponed and then they unpostponed it and then they postponed it again. And so they had lots of really happy people because we all got 6 or 7 text messages because they couldn't figure out if we were flying out or not. And I flew into Atlanta, and that's the world's biggest and busiest airport. And that's always an adventure. However, because I've been, working on myself and my eating and stuff like that, I could walk the airport and not feel like I was dying. I could walk the airport with a mask on and not feel like I was dying. There was one certain point where I was like, okay, I'm going to walk to gate 16. And if I'm too tired, I'll sit down. But I made it to gate 12 without having to sit down. So, progress. But one of the things that I saw yesterday on the way home was this kid. He was probably between 20 and 30. I thought I heard him say he was 30. He looked young to me, but I'm not 30. So, and he just, there are signs everywhere. When you book your flight, you agree that you will wear masks in the airport and on the planes at all times, unless you are eating or drinking. You must wear the mask the entire time you are on the plane. It's just a rule. It doesn't matter whether you agree or not. It's a rule. And so, and we all agreed to it when we booked our flight, when we checked in for our flight, when we walked into the airport, we saw signs and people explaining that this is what we must do. And so I watched this guy, and what's impressive is I only saw one guy really do it. But I watched this guy, and he came up to the customer service desk and he didn't have his mask on. And the guy says, you've got to have a mask on. And he says, well, no, I don't, whatever. And the guy says, well, for me to talk to you, you have to have a mask on. And the man is literally offering him a mask. So he puts on the mask just to, make peace. And he leaves, and he comes back 4 different times. And each time he does not have that mask with him. And he explains why he doesn't really need to have the mask on. And 4 different times, the guy at the desk says, I cannot talk to you unless you have a mask on, and hands him another mask. And then he comes back. And it's just like, come on, Scooter, let's catch up. Well, lucky me, this kid's on the flight. And y'all, I watched 6 different people talk to this person. And at no point was he belligerent. It wasn't a Karen video or anything like that, but he just wouldn't do what they asked him to do. And it was creating anxiety for a lot of us, because if he chose not to do that and somebody wants to make an issue out of it, they can they can take the plane right back to Atlanta and land it and pull him off and fine him $2,500. I mean, it's a big deal. This is not just, hey, I disagree, whatever. You agreed to this when you bought the freaking ticket, and your actions can affect all of us. And and what made me really unhappy was that as I'm watching all these things happen, there are people, literally, we can't take off because people are having to come onto the plane and debate with Scooter about wearing a mask. And it's like, dude, you already agreed to all this. We're all here. This guy that's talking to him is saying, I can lose my job. You have to do this. And if they have to land this plane, it costs $5,000 to turn the plane around and start over, not to mention the hundreds of people who are going to be affected by this. And I couldn't believe that he did that. That his point seemed so important that he would affect so many people, whether you agree with wearing a mask or not. Is it hurting you to put it on? Anyway, my point is really not about the mask. Agree or disagree, that's fine, whatever. I'm fully vaccinated. You don't have to wear a mask around me. I don't care. But it was just the fact that that he was so full of self that he didn't feel like he needed to think of anybody except he didn't want to. And so I'm going to wrap this back around and we're going to get to social media. I promise. That story has stuck with me, and I'm sure that it is going to show up in several different ways. And I'm sure at some point I am going to recognize, because it bothered me so much, there will come a big aha for me where I will see this is the thing where I am that defiant. I know there are areas in my life where I am that defiant, where, 25, 30, 50 people have said, just do. My weight being one of them. But I currently am surrendered on that. But there are, we've all got it somewhere. We've got the thing that we're just especially stupid and stubborn about. And so I've been thinking about that quite a lot. Hey, Liz, I'm so glad to see you. So the one area is looking at myself and saying, in what ways am I this stuck in my ways or stuck in my thoughts or thinking only of myself? But the other way, when I'm thinking about this, I was thinking about it in regards to social media and how quick we are when things aren't going well on social media to blame the platforms. We will say, well, it's these complicated algorithms, or for some reason, people are just not looking at what I'm doing, and they're not seeing my videos or whatever, instead of turning it around and saying, what's going on with me? Am I posting consistently? Because I've heard 5,000 times that consistency is king on social media, but I post once every 3 weeks. And then I'm mad because social media does not work for me. Okay, then it's not them, it's me. I was looking at my numbers right before I made this video, and my numbers, all except one, are down. And I was like, dadgummit, I've really committed to video, and look, my numbers are down. And then I had to go back over what happened last week. I think I posted two videos. I usually I'm supposed to post 5. I said I'll see you tomorrow, only you didn't see me tomorrow. And so those people who have connected and committed are not seeing me consistently. So of course my numbers go down. There is not any opportunity for them to go up because I have given them nothing to connect with. And so there's some defiance there in saying it's the platform's fault this isn't working for me, instead of saying, okay, what can I figure out? What is it that I'm doing? Am I sharing the same information over and over and over again? People have told me repeatedly that I need to diversify the kinds of posts that I share. Some of them need to be personal stories. Some of them need to be informational. Some of them need to be about the origin of my business, or why I do what I do, or why I have chosen to do this. Some of them need to be what sets me apart from others in my field. Some of them need to be about the industry. So there are all kinds of different approaches that I can take. Am I posting the same thing? I call it the lose weight now, ask me how. No offense to anybody, but you know what I'm talking about. There's, a lot of people who get into direct sales. They share the same stuff that everybody in their whole line is sharing. my friend Liz and I were in the same company at one point, and our leader would do a post, and then we all would go post the exact same thing. And so if you knew 5 of us, you saw the same 5 posts from 5 different women. There's nothing unique or different or fun to connect with that. And so, I've got to, if this isn't working for me, blaming them is not an effective way to get better. It's looking at me. Am I getting lazy in what I share? Am I putting good captions on what I'm sharing? If I'm doing a video, is the title something somebody's going to care about? Am I staying creative? Am I really considering, is this a post that if I saw it, I would stop and read? That's a real easy question to answer. Is it a corporate picture and some, some just kind of throwaway verbiage that I put on it? Or is it something that somebody who's really, who needs a solution, is it something they're going to connect to and say, oh gosh, that's me, or that I have that problem, or I am struggling with that thing, or this is the solution that I've been looking for. Am I offering that information? If I'm not sharing specifically on a business post, which you don't have to every day, am I sharing things that sort of tie into my business or my brand that are interesting to my ideal client or customer? It's okay for me to share something outside of social media. Maybe I have found a client relationship management software that I think would be great for the small businesses that I serve, or small businesses like mine. Sure, I can share about that. That's useful information. Can I share industry news? Of course, I probably should. There are changes coming to Facebook ads because of some changes with Apple, and people are a little bit concerned about what that's going to mean. So if I have some information, or I've read a particularly great article about that, absolutely I can share it because it fits in with who I am and what I do and my brand. Now, on my social media management page, do I need to share a fantastic Instapot recipe? Probably not. That doesn't align with the brand. That goes to my personal page, and I'm fine with that. The more active I am holistically on the platforms, the better. I think I need to work on both sides of that, because I am the business. I am the face of the business. People want to know me personally, but they also want to know me professionally. So sharing on both sides of the fence is important for me. Cross-pollinating is also important, but I really need to look at, have I gotten lazy? Am I sharing the same things? Am I sharing a bunch of text without any photos? Am I sharing the same kind of stuff that I shared yesterday and last week and the week before? Certainly there is going to be some repetition in your posts. I encourage that you recycle and reuse some topics. Yes, I'm talking about Facebook again. It's my number one platform. It's the one that people come to me looking for help with. I'm going to share with Facebook about Facebook a ton. And in that, I'm going to share the same things. But am I literally sharing the exact same thing in exactly the same way? If so, then it's time to mix it up. Can I make a blog post about it? Can I write an article? Can I make an infographic? And I'm saying make, not find and paste. I don't want to share somebody else's work. This is my brand. It needs to come from my brand. It needs to have my brand logo on it. All of this reinforces who I am and what I do. And so and I need to make sure that I am speaking to my audience in a way that truly connects, in a way that is intimate and authentic and personal. I am not Coca-Cola, I am Jennifer Kelly. And so I want you are hiring, when you hire Elephant Sandwich, you are hiring Jennifer Kelly. So I want you to know who this is. I want you to have complete faith in who I am, what I'm about, what I believe. And thus I must share those things with you so that you know who you're writing that check to. Because there are some people who hire me they know me in other ways and they know me other places. There are some people who hire me and they have never met me outside of this platform. And so this platform must provide enough information to make people feel comfortable and confident in who I am, because they're going to send me good money to perform a service for them. And I want them to feel good about it before they do it, not, wow, I hope this turns out. I want them to feel like I've found the perfect person. This aligns with who I am and what I believe and what we do. So, am I sharing those kinds of things? So this week, I'm going to challenge you a little bit to really slow down and take a look at what you're struggling with. Take a look at your numbers, see how they're going. You have complete control over how your numbers are going. And I mean, you have organic control. I'm not saying, and you must throw some more money at it to make this work. I am saying you need to be doing the things that we talk about. If you are not growing your audience by inviting new people into your circle, if you are not using social media as a platform to network, which means connect with other people, then, there are some things that you have control over that will make a difference. I want to very quickly just run through the kinds of services that I offer just as an informational thing. I am a social media manager, which means I will create, post, and monitor your page for you. That is the full service kind of thing. I will watch your numbers for you. I will respond to any messages that come in the way that you want that to happen. I will post as you. I will like all the posts. I will invite people who have not liked your page to like your page. I will respond to comments, all that kind of stuff to the degree that I can. And if not, I'll reach out to you so that you are aware and know what to do. The second option is I do private one-on-one coaching with business owners. This is ideal for people who their business is like mine and they are the business. If you are a realtor, if you are a financial planner, if you are an artist, if you are a direct seller, you are your brand. And so it's a little trickier for someone else to do that for you. But having someone that you are, number one, accountable to, who will help you find the shortcuts to the information, who will help you get an organized system to share your brand narrative with the world, I will help you do that. Typically, my coaching clients stay with me at least 6 months. And so I have a 6-month package where we will start with just the basics of getting your page set up properly. And by the time we get to the end of six months, you will know how to create a system, how to reuse, how to use whichever platforms you are most interested in using, how to do some follow-up and connecting. If you want to run some ads, I will give you just some basic information on how to do that. We will look at all the different aspects of your page and how to use those effectively. Each week you will be given a challenge on how to use the platforms and what to do with them. And so you will be perfectly equipped to take over that page by yourself. Now you're always welcome to continue the coaching, or if you'd like, maybe by the end of 6 months, you're in a position where you can delegate. I'm happy to take over your page. So we can talk about that too. I am also kicking around the idea of a group coaching format where maybe some small business owners would like to get together and have a group session each week. And of course, that would be less expensive than the private coaching. It would be a short-term solution, but it would be basically a social media boot camp where it's a number of weeks rather than months, but I can help you get off the ground. And if I have some interest in doing that, we will get that set up soon. So let me know if you have interest in any of those things. If you're interested on one-on-one coaching, I always offer a complimentary coaching session so that you can kind of see what it's like. Before that session, I will check out your social media pages, see what you've got going, and look at what you're doing right and what we can improve on. And you will leave that session with some actionable steps that you can put into play immediately. So that is complimentary. All you have to do is reach out with me and we can set that up this week. So I look forward to hearing from you. If there's ever a question that I can answer for you about social media, you can reach out to me through Messenger, or you can leave a comment here on the video and I will get back to you with an answer. Thanks so much, you guys. I will see you again. I know I said it last week, but I mean it.